November 1st, 2023 saw the 20th anniversary of the classic Justice League episode, A Better World. Over on my Instagram page, @DCAnimatedCustoms, I post new customs that correlate with some of my favorite episode anniversaries. For this 20th anniversary, I made all of the Justice Lords and posted one a week throughout November. This is the second making of video for the alternate team, and we're looking at Batman today. The recipe I used was simply the DC Collectibles Justice League Batman without any additional parts. All of the alternate Justice Lord designs are fairly simple and straightforward to convert from the original figures. They all have double rings on their wrists and shins, a slightly different symbol on their chests, and a variation on their standard color scheme. I've always loved Batman's design of the all-black suit with gray accents and gray highlights. You also get an echo of the Batman Beyond suit with the shape of his chest emblem. Put all that together and you have one striking Batman variant. Stick around till the end for a bonus Justice Lord making of overview too. Without further ado, let's begin by freeing Batman from his cell and restraints. Once he's all free, let's deconstruct him. Take either a heat gun or a space heater and heat up Batman's head, gloves, boots, and waist to remove them and begin his transformation. Then you'll want to do some slight dremeling on his chest to remove the ends of a symbol. With his belt off and symbol sanded, I'll unlock the helpful tip of drawing on your figure before sculpting. You can free sculpt if you like, but I found much more accurate success in sketching out where I want to put my epoxy so it's all planned out ahead of time. It's easier to make changes by simply erasing and redrawing than it is to modify the clay after it's been put on, especially if it's already cured. That said, it may take you a few attempts to get the shapes you're after, so don't give up. I drew on both his chest for the outline of the symbol as well as on his cape for where I'll be cutting it out to blend it together with his body. This is a weird little error I discovered on my figure. He came with two right forearms, so his left arm sticks out at an angle instead of properly going in. Oh well, this guy isn't cheap, so I'll just have to work around it and kind of ignore it in the end. Next, you'll want to draw on his gloves and on his boots where you want the trademark rings to go. Once you're happy with them, hit them very briefly with a heat gun and pop them back into place for a quick test to how they'll look. Pop it back off while it's still hot so you can begin cutting. Cut off the middle spike on Batman's gauntlet, as we'll be able to keep the other two and simply sculpt the rings around them to get the right look. Cut off the other glove and two boot tops and you're ready to sculpt. You may have heard me say it before, but the best way to sculpt a ring is to mix up some epoxy, more than you'll need for the actual ring itself, push it down all the way around, and then cut your ring shape out of it. Repeat this process on the next ring, the two on the other arm, and the four on his boots. Sculpt around the waist gap and fill in where the old belt was before you make his new belt. Since epoxy takes a day to cure, you can work on other areas in the meantime. This is the perfect time to sculpt the symbol on his chest right where you sketched it in earlier and then add the new belt. Coming back to the rings, you may also need to dremel the inside of the top arm rings to be able to get them to fit back onto his arms properly. If you made the rings too thick, you can go back with a Dremel and knock them down a bit. If you made them too tall, you can always go back and whittle them down with an X-Acto knife. I had to do both to the majority of the 8 rings on Batman. Next, for the belt buckle, I used a 3-hole punch on a piece of rubber and it comes out to the perfect size. Just glue it in place and you're done. Next, we need to use an X-Acto knife and trace the outline we drew on the cape to get the hole around the symbol. It'll take a few trial and error attempts, but you'll eventually get it right. Now I'll rope you in with my techniques for painting. Grab your favorite can of primer and give Batman a good coat or two before breaking out the main colors. I used a medium gray for the base to establish his cell-shaded lighter color. Paint the black over the top because it's easier for black to cover other colors rather than the other way around. Then be sure to paint the cape inside and out. Since his head is already black, we paint a few coats of gray over the top of it where the cell shading is there. Once you're happy with his paint job, you can glue his cape on with super glue. Dremel the cape one more time and add epoxy around the symbol to blend it all in together. Sand that cured epoxy you just added and paint over the new cape transition. That's it. Pop the head on and be sure to take some cool pictures of him. I chose to recreate the infamous scene from the Batcave where the two of them are fighting, and here's a look at my setup. I mentioned staying till the end for a bonus custom, and it's Justice Lord Wonder Woman. But I made her long before I started filming these customs, so I only have a few pictures to show you. Regardless, it's a very similar process to create her. Pop the head off, Dremel the chest, sculpt the collar, leg rings, and short sleeves, sand it all, prime, and paint. Her hair is a dramatic departure from the usual Wonder Woman style, but it just requires some epoxy shaped and dremeled to match her design in the episode. Put Batman and Wonder Woman together and you have a real knockout pairing. With that, another Lord can be taken off your to-do list. If you want to see another, check out the YouTube shorts on this channel for uncut clips on the making of Justice Lord Green Lantern. That series is about half done, and watching them in sequence will be like watching the custom come to life. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Join me next time where I'll be making a follow-up to the battery saver video with the bonus Poison Ivy for Earth Day. Jump down into the comments to leave any questions or requests for future character videos. And feel free to like and subscribe to get notified for my next video. Check me out on Instagram too, as I post a lot of finished customs up there well before these making of videos ever get made. Have a good one, and happy customizing.